Okay, so why didn't Jesus call himself Palestinian? Because he was not Palestinian. That's the reason. Palestine did not exist. Let me explain. Okay, so and I know there's a lot of people who go around saying that he was Palestinian. He was not. Jesus would never have said I'm Palestinian because Palestine did not exist back then. Okay, this is some kind of modern day. It's way newer. Put it like that. It's way newer than when Jesus was born. Okay. So let's get back. First of all, Jesus came from heaven. Okay, if you look in the scriptures, in Jesus will always say, "I came from heaven." Okay, there was word from God and a prophecy given. He will be born in Bethlehem, Bethlehem of Judea, the kingdom of Judea. This is where Jesus was born from Mary. Okay, this is where he was born from Mary. This is the location. Okay, way back in the day, this is within the kingdom of Judea. Okay, let me go all the way back. Okay, and I'm gonna try to get this straight. Forgive me if I mess something up. But okay, so you want to go all the way back to Genesis 14, where Abraham was called Hebrew. Okay, the word Hebrew was right there for Abraham, and then it goes on his sons, and Abraham had children, and through Isaac, and then Isaac had Esau and Jacob. Jacob was renamed to Israel by God, and so then we have the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, and so of those 12 tribes, one of them was the tribe of Judah. Okay, the tribe of Judah is the lineage from where the Lord Jesus came. Okay, the earthly lineage where Jesus was just came. Okay, that's why you call him Lion of Judah. Okay, and from the tribe of Judah is where you get the kingdom of Judah. Okay, also known as the kingdom of Judea. Okay, same thing. So this is actually the kingdom from which Jesus is from, Bethlehem of Judea. There was no Bethlehem of Palestine. Palestine did not exist. So it's from Bethlehem of Judea. This is already documented historically. Palestine did not come until way later. Okay, after the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. Okay, so the reason why you will never see in ancient text that Jesus is Palestinian is because he is not. That name, the area was renamed. Okay, the area was renamed. So he was of the tribe of, when it comes to earth, when it comes to earthly tribes, his that he's from the tribe of Judah, from the kingdom of Judea, and he was born in Bethlehem. So he's actually from the kingdom of Judea, the kingdom of Judah. Okay, so that's why you won't see anywhere that Jesus says he's Palestinian. You won't see it because it didn't exist. That whole name, if I'm not mistaken, Palestine was renamed by Romans at the very beginning. Romans, I think it was like Syria, Palestinia, or something like that. The Romans came in and they renamed it. And so I guess from that point the name began to stick, and certain people write about it, write about it. And of course, way in the 1900s some other stuff happened. But that's actually what was going down. So Jesus himself is not Palestinian. Now, and this is where there's a bunch of confusion. There's a bunch of confusion. For instance, let me step outside of the Bible for a second, and let me talk about myself as a Black American. Okay, so anybody who follows me understands that Black Americans, we have many endonyms. Okay, but our forefathers, and when I say, I'm gonna go to my ancient, I'm gonna say ancient forefathers, the forefathers who came, our ancestors who came directly from the continent of Africa on via slave ships. Okay, those ancestors of mine were not from Nigeria. Okay? Because there was no such thing as Nigeria. They were from Africa. They were from actually multiple places on the African continent. So my me. So if I was to wake up one of my ancient ancestors, my ancestors, right? And say, tell me where you were from. They would either say Africa or give me their tribe. If I woke up three of them or four of them, that there's going to be multiple tribes. They're going to tell me Africa and their tribe, their nation. Okay? They're going to tell me their kingdom. Okay? They're not going to tell me what would be said today. They would not say Nigerian. They would say from Igbo. They would say and some other, I don't know, Akan, some other kingdoms or whatever, but they would not say what is being said today. So they would not say I'm from Nigeria. They wouldn't say that because Nigeria did not exist. So you can say what is now known today as. So if they were from Anambra, right? Which one of them were, okay? One or two were. If they were from Anambra, Nigeria, then they would say what is called today as Anambra, Nigeria. But back then it was not. It was not. They wouldn't say that. They wouldn't know what the flip I'm talking about when I say Nigeria. Okay, so the same thing with the Lord. If you want to be precise and correct, Jesus was not Palestinian. He was of Hebrew descent, and which Hebrew turned the same people who would say they're Hebrew, it turned into Jew. Okay, and in Israelite, I'm not sure which one came beforehand or whatever, but Jew, Hebrew, and Israelite. Okay, all of them from the same lineage. Okay, Jesus came from the tribe of Judah. Okay, and he was born on earth through Mary in Bethlehem in the kingdom of Judea. So that's the reality of the situation. Now, if I was to rule as a queen and I go in there and I change that region and I change that name, then all of a sudden, but that doesn't change the reality. Reality is he's from the kingdom of Judah, born in Bethlehem. If I change that name to Africa land, and all of a sudden is Jesus going to be from Africa land? No, he's from he's from. You can't change history like that. You just can't change history like that. So that's why history is documented. It stays that way. You just have to then go back and understand when did the change occur to the name of the region, and it happened after the Lord's resurrection. And if you want to know who was in the land prior to the Hebrews going into the land, then you can go back to Genesis 14 and read that, or Amorites. And then you'll find out what happened with the Amorites. Okay? But it wasn't, people were called by their tribe. They were not called by what's going on today.